Well, sustainability as a word is greatly overused, and it's come to mean so many things that, in my opinion, it's come to mean very little. And when you think about sustainability, it's very important that one thinks about it in terms of environmentally sustainable, economically sustainable, and socially sustainable. And if any system does not meet all three of those criteria, this ecosystem or this cultural system will not last for the long term.
That was Jed Moody, the university's sustainability director, describing the three parts that make up a sustainable system. Our project focuses on one of the three, environmental sustainability. Conserving energy and generating energy are two ways that Appalachian State promotes this area. First, we'll hear about conserving energy.
Appalachian State University is environmentally sustainable because of its efforts to conserve energy. To conserve energy, ASU constructs green buildings that meet LEED certified standards. Before learning about specific green buildings on campus, it is important to understand what green and LEED mean. Listen to Jed Moody talk about green buildings.
The word green is a word you often hear associated with sustainability initiatives. And green is a word that often, much like sustainability, gets overused. But when something is said to be green, it is implied that it is sustainable. And typically when you use the word green, they're referring to just environmentally sustainable versus the full spectrum of sustainability, which includes environmental, economic, and social.
Now listen to Jed talk about LEED certification.
In 2007, Appalachian State's Board of Trustees voted that all new buildings and any major renovation over 25,000 square feet would be built to LEED Silver standards. And LEED is an industry standard that stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, and it is a evolving standard so that buildings built to this standard will indeed be very energy efficient and be friendly to the environment. And since that time, Appalachian has built or designed 9 buildings on our campus that conform to LEED Silver standards or better.
4 of ASU's LEED certified buildings are residence halls. The 4 LEED certified residence halls are Frank Hall, Mountaineer Hall, Summit Hall, and Cone Hall. Some common green features in these residence halls are low-flow shower heads and Energy Star appliances. ASU plans to close down and renovate 1 residence hall each year to meet LEED standards. Other types of buildings on campus have also been designed to meet LEED certified standards, such as the new addition to the Student Union. The following green features can be found in Plemmons Student Union: natural daylighting, digital signage to reduce paper waste, dimmable low-energy LED lighting, carpet from recycled plastic bottles and natural wool, and lastly, rubber flooring from recycled automobile tires. These represent just some of the many green features that meet LEED certified standards. Besides green building, ASU conserves energy through other resources as well. The physical plant at Appalachian State helps provide an energy-efficient campus. Listen to Jed Moody discuss the campus physical plant.
Appalachian State University has an energy management function in our physical plant, and they work very aggressively to reduce our energy usage and to save us money in this regard. And for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2012, Appalachian State University had a $3.25 million cost avoidance than what they would have spent otherwise if it had not been for all of the advanced energy saving measures that had been installed.
For more information on conserving energy, please visit sustain.appstate.edu, the website run by ASU's Office of Sustainability.
Appalachian State works to be environmentally sustainable through its efforts to generate clean energy. Wind, solar, and hydroelectric power are all represented on campus. In 2004, a group of students at ASU began a committee called the Renewable Energy Initiative, or REI, that would use student fees for renewable energy projects. Listen to this clip of Jed Moody explaining the REI's most visible project, the wind turbine at the former Broyhill Conference Center.
You know, the REI signature project is the Broyhill wind turbine. And in this case, they partnered with the local utility, New River Light and Power, and they erected the largest wind turbine in the state of North Carolina. It is a 100 kilowatt machine, meaning that when it's spinning at full capacity, it will generate 100 kilowatts of electricity at any moment in time.
Even before the Broyhill turbine, Appalachian had been involved with wind energy in the 1970s. Here's Jed again to talk about the Mod 1, which was built in 1979.
In the late 1970s, in a cooperation with NASA, the world's largest wind turbine was erected in Boone, North Carolina, atop Howard's Knob. It was very much an item for research in wind energy. And because it was such a research piece, there was a great deal that our community learned, but the scientific community learned about harnessing wind energy. Many of the features of this first generation large-scale wind turbine that you would not see today. First of all, the tower was a lattice-based tower versus a streamlined pole. And these lattice-based towers were noisy as the wind blew through them, and also birds were known to roost in them. The blades on the Mod 1 were metal and caused electrical interference in the Boone community. Also, the machine was most famous perhaps for the low-frequency noise vibrations that it generated, and many people thought it made a sound like a whoosh. And there was a group of fanatics in Boone back in the day, and they became known as the Whooshies, and they, in a very tongue-in-cheek manner, were said to worship the wind turbine and in some ways making fun of the noise that it made. My understanding is that somewhere around the year 2011 that the Whooshies, in fact, had a reunion in Boone, North Carolina. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at that party.
Even though the Mod 1 was removed in 1983, it was a big step towards better wind technology. It also introduced wind energy to the area.
You know, oftentimes when you ask people who've been around the Boone community what they think about wind energy, they will talk about the Mod 1 back from the 70s and the 80s. What they remember are the shortcomings, and they think that wind energy is not applicable in today's world. And what I would say is that a car made in 1979 would certainly not be a good representation of the technology of today. And we think the new wind turbine that our students have erected at the Broyhill is a great example of new generation technology, and I love that they sit across the valley from where each other once stood. It's a shame the Mod 1 in some ways is not still there, so that perhaps generation to generation they could look across Boone at one another.
In addition to wind energy, Appalachian State also uses both photovoltaic and solar thermal systems to gather energy from the sun. Photovoltaic panels directly convert the sun's energy into electricity. One example is the system outside of Raleigh Hall. Solar thermal technology uses the sun's energy to heat water. Plymouth Student Union, for example, has a solar thermal system to help provide hot water for the building. Visit energy.gov to find videos that explain how the process works. Because of Appalachian State University's commitment to environmental, economic, and social well-being, it has been recognized on a national level for excellence in its sustainability programs. Here's Jed for more on just one of the awards that Appalachian has won.
In 2012, Appalachian completed its first ever STARS assessment for the ASU organization. And ASU stands for the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. And the STARS program is the Sustainability Tracking, Assessment, and Rating System. And this is a very holistic and broad-based way to measure sustainability across campus. Hundreds of campuses participate in this system worldwide, and last time that I checked the results, it would have been in 2012, Appalachian State had the fourth highest score in the United States.
We asked Jed what advice he would give to someone who wanted to be more sustainable in their daily lives. Here was his answer.
To really just be aware of the resources you consume as you consume them. How do you get to campus? Is there a way you could take the bus or perhaps ride with a friend? Or better yet, can you walk or ride a bike where you're adding something to your body that it needs? What are you eating for lunch? Was it something you grew yourself? Was it something that was healthy for you? How much energy do you use? Do you set your thermostat at 72, or do you just set it at 68 and wear a sweater? And all of these things are not prescriptive. They're just things that if people will take the time to bring awareness to what they do, there's tremendous sustainability and efficiency measures that can be gained just by being aware. And I think the other thing that really happens when people take the time to be very thoughtful with recycling and resource usage and in all matters sustainability is I think those people really are the leaders on our campus. And it's through this leadership by example that we will educate one another.